But the peace that was made is not a permanent peace, I am afraid.
Over 700 German planes appeared coming up the Thames. It was a sight to be seen. I mean, unbelievable.
There was always at the back of our mind the thought that we would get wiped out some particular night.
It was still settling and the rubble was still, the debris was still settling down, and from underneath all that I could hear people screaming.
We were just going to dinners and we heard something like thunder coming along. We saw the plane and we ducked.
The hour of our greatest effort and action is approaching.
I was evacuated, big double-decker buses, the red double-decker buses, masses of them outside the school, taking the whole school, lock, stock and barrel, teachers, pupils, everything. And we all went down to Wokingham. I was terribly unhappy. The fact that this was really my first time away from any of my family, and it was an absolute tragedy that I was being taken away. I just couldn't understand it. I remember getting off the bus and going into a community centre, and there were all of these children sitting down who were given glasses of milk to drink and squash. And then parents started to come into the hall, and we were allocated to somebody that was going to be a foster parent. And eventually one lady agreed to take one extra after being pressed by one of the billeting officers. And I eventually found myself in a house in Wokingham with his Hynets, something like that, who already had 2 children of her own. We weren't equal in the family, we were very much children up from London. And it was just a duty that these people accepted us.
Green, an average British housewife, filled her market basket with her choice of foods brought from all over the world. But on that old system, the British could never have survived the war, so they cut down their food imports by half. They rationed all basic foods except bread and vegetables. They controlled prices strictly. It put the $1-a-day man on an eating level with a $1-a-year man. There are 4 in the Green family. Their basic rations don't amount to much, but they are sure of getting them every week. 2 pounds of sugar, half a pound each week for everyone, half a pound of tea, 2 ounces each, half a pound of butter, half a pound of lard, and a pound of margarine. 3 ounces of cheese for each person, for cheese is an excellent meat substitute, a box of dried eggs from the United States, and a full pound of bacon. Canned goods, what few there are, and spaghetti, breakfast food, and all that sort of thing, are rationed on the points system. And since all prices are controlled, housewives can afford the cost in money. It's the cost in points that's the problem.
Well, I do have to give a lot more thought to housekeeping problems than I did before the war. The rations have to be evened out over the week. That's no easy job. Take butter and margarine, for instance. We used to eat at one meal what has to last us a week now.
But Jimmy can never get enough candy to fill his sweet tooth. His ration, like everybody's, is only 3 ounces a week. The war's biggest riddle is how to keep pretty and decently dressed in the midst of luxury taxes and stringent clothes rationing.
It's a waste of time now, walking into a shop and asking for your favorite brand of cosmetics. You just take what you can get. But the main headache is trying to figure out a wardrobe on 24 clothing coupons every 6 months. If I want a woolen frock, that takes 11 coupons, leaving me just enough for a pair of shoes and, say, a blouse.